All right. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Haim Krasniker. I'm Chief Information Security Officer at Starkware. I've been working there for the past 2 years, also in Web3 for the past 2 years. I'm here to talk about challenges I had as a security officer and also as a security professional in Web2 coming to Web3. And the biggest challenge, I hope, will be to make this in 10 minutes or less, so good luck. About myself, I've been working 2 decades in cybersecurity. Started as a researcher, a malware analyst, and then later exploitation, mobile, web. Later on, manager of security engineering and research team. I like to keep hands-on and solve complex problems. That's one of the reasons I wanted to choose blockchain and Web3. And I'm very excited that I have done it. But when I came to Starkware and Web3, nothing prepared me for Web3 security mayhem. So many attack vectors, interesting assets to protect, and from Web2, from Web3. And I'll share a little bit about the threat actors, the threats, and what I think can be good for security leaders in protecting Web3 and DeFi. So let's talk a little bit about Web2 threat actors. The first, we have the script kiddies. They open command line, and they think they are hackers. So these are not really a threat for us. This is one example, but we have also bug bounty hunters. Sometimes they can be also black hats, white hats. Usually issues that related are reported and being paid for. Sometimes they are deciding to do also be malicious. Next, we can have an example of an activist group like the Anonymous team, usually doing DDoS in Web2 as far as I have seen. And essentially, I wanted to mention the insider threat in Web2, which can be devastating up to an extent. When it comes to Web3 attacks or threat actors, the malicious insider, the same one from before, has much more incentive because this is multi-million dollars and it can do a lot of damage, right? Compromise private keys, for example, when you have access to the company. Sometimes the even worse project that can do rug pulls, like it can be related to a malicious insider or executives, or the entire project is malicious in order to pump and trick users, essentially stealing money. So this is another big problem we have in the industry. We have also the APT groups, organized crime, that are not behind nation state, that also decides to deal with crypto, which we need to deal with. And lastly, the most threatening threat is the nation state hackers like DPRK, Lazarus Group, which can be very, very, and have done a lot of damage. So my point is that Web3 threats are much more targeted and focused. They are behind social engineering mastermind. Sometimes they can, for example, have lateral movement. They hack a Twitter account or a Telegram account, and then they reach out to people that they know, trying to install or download something. Some recently even have been hired as IT or dev, which is devastating because they can cause a lot of damage inside. They are highly skilled. They are usually patients, and most of them know how to mix and demix very quickly, thus allowing them to do money laundering. We talked a little bit about Web2 hacks, and this is also a problem in Web3 because Web2 hacks are easy leverage into a key compromise. For example, if I manage to have a Trojan horse on a computer, we have seen recently a lot of attacks against multi-sig where Trojan horses can be used to steal or trick users into signing with cold wallet important on a fake data. We also have application security that we need to be taken care of, cloud security misconfiguration, and social media. So yeah, we don't have a lot of time, but there are so many threats to deal with in Web3, also coming from Web2. As a CISO, it is not the most relaxing job in the world because if the attackers have built correctly their way of exploitation. The execution is usually within minutes on chain. Ronin attack is one example of very strong social engineering where they stole more than $600 million. Wormhole, Wazir X more recently. So very, very big damage in minutes. So how do you prepare for that? On Web2, my previous companies, you call an IR firm, they come, they take a mem dump, but we do not have the time for that, right? It's minutes. We don't have hours. We don't have days. We have to react quickly. And above all, after all, we also have governance and legal risk, which I know is a bit controversial in DeFi, but as a CISO, you also have to swim between the lanes and also keep due diligence and compliance wherever you can in order to support the users in various countries. So with all those threats and risks, what do we do now? What I did in every company that I come to do security, I usually do a risk assessment. Sometimes I use framework like NIST, like MITRE. So I had to adjust the threat actor and how it's bigger than usual in Web3 than in Web2 and their capabilities. There are a few minutes to effective immediate response. It's now a decentralized risk assessment versus centralized. It's not one entity. And it is not your typical CISO, SOC 2, or ISO 27001 checklist. It's not like you are going to install EDR, do some encryption, and you are safe. Maybe you are safe from SOC 2 or ISO 27001, but you are not really safe from Web3 hackers. So this actually presented an opportunity for me as a CISO to be practical, to focus on the important areas rather than just the checklist. And I tried also to navigate between constant changes in various countries and even due diligence by major vendors from different countries. Sorry. Yeah. So addressing Web3 risks. The first thing that you have to do in order to be prepared is to have an incident response plan ready with pre-built playbooks. Play a war game with your security team, imagine the worst case scenarios that can happen, and have a prepared list. Afterwards, build a real-time monitoring for those exact scenarios. How do you track them? There are many good Web3 security monitoring companies that you can work with and build those pre-built playbooks in order to detect them in real time. And you also have to have an emergency response for those exact pre-built playbooks. Those responses should also be decentralized by some kind of security council. Like if there is a risk of several companies that you work with report that there is a risk of lost money or steal asset, then you can maybe freeze the network, maybe pause, but you have to do that in a secure way without false positive, because otherwise this false positive can also become an attack vector. So this is challenging and also need to be decentralized. Proactively navigate the rapid change in regulations as well. Other things you can do, war games, as been to in this conference already, SEAL is doing war games and other organizations and companies as well. Do it internally, do it externally, train your people with the IR plan that you have pre-built. Secure development, fuzzing, formal verification when you can, testing coverage, internal audits. And once you are ready, do the external audit and audit competition, which is also very useful. At the end, do an effective bug bounty program. Make sure that you scope the things that you care about, so you don't get, you can waste a lot of time if your bug bounty program is not scoped. Community and ecosystem involvement is highly important. For Starknet, we have a Starknet security community, and also it's important not just to have the community report to you issues and have a way to wake you up. It's also important to protect them, protect users from phishing, for example. We work with wallets, like our wallets, Bravos and Argent. We work with blockade to protect users within the Web3 from phishing. So invest in protecting your users. And at the end, if you are hacked, make sure that you also follow the money solution so that you can return some of the funds. That's also important. So I'm running out of time. Summary, there is unique challenges in securing Web3, and coming from Web3, from Web2 to Web3, I learned a lot. I hope that other people will learn from that as well. Thank you.